Welcome back to the Tennessee Frontier. I appreciate you all tuning back in. Make sure to stick around as later in the video we'll look at what I'm planning to do with this load of poplar logs. Sometime back I posted this picture online asking people their opinion on whether it is better to chip brush or better loading it onto a grapple truck or trailer. The picture was meant to draw attention, which it did, but a few folks got intimidated by the size of my wood, and then they tried to defame the picture. Now, I'm not going to waste any time on these comments. You're welcome to pause this video and read over them yourself. Some of them are pretty funny, but a few folks were genuinely interested to know how we got these logs on the trailer. So why don't we take a look? This tulip poplar was 4 foot across at the stump and long enough to get 3 nice saw logs. We cut 2 just over 16.5 feet and ended up with a short 4-foot log that still had plenty of potential. I knew we were going to need the Kubota KX080 to load the 2 biggest logs. The one we're messing with here calculated out at over 3.5 tons. The second one, which you'll see us load later in the video, was a decent bit lighter at just over 3 tons. Some of you might recognize that shed from the last video. We ended up tearing it down with the 080 on account of weather and time getting the best of it. If you haven't seen that video yet, you can follow the link on the screen there. I'll post one in the description as well. Now, I'm far from where I need to be as an operator. I'm learning every day. If you operate an excavator for a living, I'd like your advice. What is the best practice on carrying heavy logs? I feel like I should have been balancing this log between the bucket and the blade. I'm afraid that carrying the log this way, I'm putting too much strain on the boom. Let me know in the comments section below. I always try to take time to come up with a good plan. I figured we'd set one end of the log up on the trailer, throw a standard end to hold it in place, then we could move down and load the other end. That wasn't going to work out very well set up that far away from the trailer. I had just enough time to make another approach when the neighbor walked over. He's a skilled operator with no telling how many years of experience. From what I understand, he can operate pretty much anything. I was thinking to myself, my goodness. Somebody's watching that actually knows how to operate equipment. And if that wasn't enough, here came a second one, his son, another skilled operator. If a third operator showed up, I was going to have to make a break for the woods. My gut can handle 3 servings of pizza, but not stress like that. All joking aside, I enjoyed having these guys around. You can never underestimate having experienced folks on a job site. And you never know when you'll need another set of eyes or another set of hands. Sometimes you look at something and think, yeah, I don't like the way that looks. When I rested that log up against the standard, I knew we were going to have to do something. If the welds of that standard pocket broke free, we'd be in a bad spot. I grabbed one of the trailer straps, wrapped it around the standard, and torqued it down. That'd get us by until we got the other end of the log loaded. Walking around the other side of the trailer, I was finally able to relax, but it was an ominous sight. Over 3.5 tons of tulip poplar resting on the side of the trailer. We had reached the end of the road, at least on the first log. All we had to do was pitch the other end up on the trailer, drop in a couple more standards, and shift it forward. Then we could focus on tackling the other log. You're not going to want to miss seeing me load that one. You'd think that the lighter log would be easier to load. Let's just say it doesn't go well. This is the part of the video I'm not proud of, but for the sake of education we'll play it through. I can't recall whether there was rain rolling in or I just didn't have the patience to work this log with the chain. Anyway, I figured I'd just try to lift it on. What happens next is a combination of not having a good grip on the log and not grabbing it towards its center. There was a cluster of limbs there that would have made it difficult to grab, but patience helps with a lot of things. I didn't even try. Poplar tends to shed its bark pretty easily. That certainly didn't help. I should have just taken the time to use the chain. Let's see what happens. So here we are again, back to where we started. But the question still stands. What am I going to do with this load of logs? Well, I've found a lot of joy running a sawmill, and therein lies the start of an exciting new chapter on the Tennessee frontier. We'll be firing up the sawmill and turning these rare Tennessee logs into some pretty awesome slabs of wood, and I hope you join me. To everyone who subscribed to my channel, liked my videos, and encouraged me along the way, I really appreciate the support. Next time on the Tennessee frontier. Before we can get these logs milled, we have to get them off the trailer. Let me know in the comments section below how you think that'll happen. It took an excavator to get them on the trailer. What will it take to get them off?